Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction, and we're diving back into the Miracle of Teddy Bear. We're diving into episode 7. And y'all remember last week when everything was going too well, and everyone was just having cute romantic moments, and it was all so sweet. And I'm sitting there worried, like, okay, how's this? When are they going to attack my feelings? Are we going to get away with us just having a nice, clean, happy episode? And then the last 3 minutes happened and all the shit hit the fan? Y'all remember that? Well, we're picking up where we left off there. It was honestly really hard for me last week not to just dive into the next episode if it wasn't for the fact that these episodes are so damn long and me recording a reaction takes so much time. I would have just dove straight into it right after that last one, but I had to work the next morning and just like there wasn't time for it. So I've been thinking about this episode for about a week now, so I'm excited to see where things go and just yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so another really good episode. Not my favorite episode. There are some things about it that I would change. Some things I found a little questionable. Some things I'm like, whatever. But there were a lot of good things that happened in the episode too. So all in all, it was still really, really good. Let's see. So we started off where we left off. Nut blowing a gasket, as he tends to do. And then basically dragging Tofu, grabbing him, taking him down the stairs, and taking him, throwing him into the car. I'm like, where are you going? What's happening right now? Where are we going that we can, like, we're already arguing in our home. It's like, where are we going that where we can continue this argument that we can't have it up here? Like, where are we going? So we throw him in the car, and it's like, okay, we're going to the police station. It's like, tell me who sent you. Tell me who you are. Tell me the truth. Otherwise, I'm going to have you arrested. And then I'm sitting here like I was sitting there watching like, girl, what exactly, on what grounds are you having him arrested? What are you going to tell the police officer exactly? And then the police officer was basically me in a sense, where he was like, so do you know him? Yes, no. Okay, so he lives with you. Why does he live with you if you don't know him? He's taking care of my mom, so you do know him. And we kiss, so you do know him. So what exactly is it that you want me to do right now? I'm like, yeah, did not have the most forethought. He wasn't really thinking ahead on this. He can be very impulsive, as we've seen. So yes, it's not surprising that he didn't completely think this out before he dragged his ass into a police station. But then, Nut stormed off. Well, first they left and he asked Tofu, like, who are you? Tell me the truth. And Tofu told him the truth. Hey, I'm your teddy bear. And Nut's like, I can't. Well, first he hits him, and I'm like, I swear to God, please stop hitting this poor baby. And he's like, I can't believe you would stoop and tell such a lie, blah, blah, blah. And then he drives off. And then all this time, poor Mrs. Left. I'm still worried about the damn left slipper at this point. I know there's some people who are like, Topher, move on from the left slipper. It's little things like this that catch my attention in some of these series. Like the number of times in Unforgotten Night, I was complaining about someone turning off a damn sink because they left it on 6 scenes ago. Because that's just where my brain goes. So like here, this just feels like an unresolved issue. Mrs. Left Slipper, she is one of our friend group. She's one of our cast of supporting characters. And like, we still haven't found her. Where's she at? So then we finally find her in the end, she's getting mauled by this dog. So we're chasing after this dog, and then in the midst of this chase, we get caught by this gang of townspeople like, you're a pervert stealing bras, we're gonna take you to the police. I'm like, is this how police stations are? Because I've never been to a police station myself, so I don't know firsthand, but can you just roll up into a police station and just be like, hey, I want to press charges on this person, he was taking my bra, or hey, this person was living in my house, I want to arrest him? Like, is that how police stations work? I don't know. I've only encountered them on television shows. But it feels a little, I don't know, unorthodox, a little informal to just kind of just roll up and be like, hey, I had a problem. I mean, I guess technically that the police are there to serve and protect the people, so people should have access to them. It feels very casual, like, hey, I have this random ass problem and I don't like this person, so can you do something about him? But yeah, so he ends up getting confiscated by kidnapped by this raving group of people with bras who won't let him let go of the bras, because Tofu's trying to like, oh no, I didn't want this, and he's trying to like put him down, like, I don't need this shit. And they like force him in his hand, like, no, we're gonna take pictures, and you see this pervert here, and I'm like, that whole, like I said there, I did not enjoy that. I felt like that whole, honestly, when I saw the dog pop up with a slipper, I felt like that entire scene, from when the dog appeared to the end of the police section, like, I just felt like it was an unnecessary addition to the episode. I know this series, we tend to bounce back and forth a lot between hard-hitting moments, some more serious moments, and this comedy, so we try to bring this sense of levity to these very emotional, heavy situations that we keep going through, so we keep bouncing back and forth, and for the most part it's worked for me throughout the series. But that was one instance where I was like, this just feels like an unnecessary waste of time. The episodes are already obscenely long, and this just makes this episode feel long unnecessarily. So I feel like we could have just cut that out and just found the slipper. I feel like we could have brought Mrs. Left Slipper into the picture in some other way. Like I said, when Gen picked him up outside of this police station that night, before he got in the car, he could have just been like, hey, can you help me look for the slipper? And we could have found the slipper and moved on. Because the slipper missing throughout the rest of the episode didn't really have any significance or really important. Like, Mrs. Na wasn't sitting around like, oh, my left foot feels so unclothed right now. Like, there wasn't a huge like gap or a huge blank space in the episode, in the narrative, because the slipper was missing. So since it wasn't playing such a huge pivotal role or anything like that, we could have just found the slipper 45 minutes ago and just called it a day. But yeah, so that whole scene just felt a little unnecessary. But backtracking. So he gets abandoned at the police station and goes back to look for the slipper very briefly. Can't find it. Again, I feel like we could have looked a little bit more intensely then, since it was only a short amount of time had passed at that point, because going back 4 days later with Song, to me, feels like a more unrealistic chance that we're going to find the slipper, because at that point it's trash. It's just random litter on the side of the road in a parking lot. Somebody, custodial, a good Samaritan, somebody's just going to pick it up, throw it in a trash can. Or a dog will walk off with it, blah, blah, blah. So the fact that the dog was still kind of just lingering in the same area with the slipper the whole time feels a little unrealistic. I know we're living in a world where a teddy bear came to life, but, you know, whatever. Even that feels just like kind of like a stretch, like we're forcing this little scene in unnecessarily. But yeah, I would have just looked for the slipper at that point when Gen came to pick me up. But Gen came to pick him up and, you know, just take him in. We had that great scene with Gen and his parents. Again, we love Gen's parents. His parents are the MVPs of the entire series. They're just amazing. We love them. And Daddy is fine as hell. I keep saying it. There's just something about every time he comes on screen, I just want to clutch my pearls. Daddy can get it. But yeah, we love them. Great scene. We didn't get an abundance with Gen and Song, their interactions together. We got little like text flirting and whatnot, and we had the one scene when Song brought Tofu to the house and Gen was there with Nut, and we had that other kind of blow up and whatnot, but we didn't get a whole lot of Gen and Song this episode, so a little sad about that, but that's okay. Got plenty of time to play with them. Let me see what else happened. Na was having some more flashbacks, and like I was saying when we were flashing back this time, seeing kind of like the sibling rivalry between Sibum and Sen. Like, it was nice this time around to see Sib not be a complete asshole, because every time we've seen him thus far in a flashback, he's just seemed like this awful, aggressive, angry. I can see where Nut gets it from, but just this this awful person. And it's like, oh god, girl, why did you marry him? Why? Like, I get the circumstances of what was going on there, but like, girl, why? He's awful. He is terrible. So it's nice to see that, hey, no, he actually had some moments when he was a decent person. There are moments when in the courting stage when he was trying to, get her attention, like, hey, he actually seemed like a good guy. He seemed like a decent guy. And like, okay. It was nice to see him not always just be this super jealous person, which, I understand where those feelings were coming from, because there were feelings between his brother and his, well, I guess at this point in time it wasn't his wife, but he was trying to get her attention. And then after they got married, I guess those feelings still continued. And so, like, I understand where his sort of like territorial nature was coming from, but still, it's nice to see him not just always angry and upset. Anyway, Na was having these flashbacks, and then she had the conversation with Tofu about nightmares versus good dreams, this, that, and the other. And it seemed like what Tofu was saying was able to reach her in a sense. And I feel like that is one of the parts of Tofu's mission here while he's human, because I'm assuming he's probably going to turn back into a teddy bear at the end of this. Maybe, we'll see. But I feel like one of the missions he has while he is human is to try and, I mean, it's a miracle of a teddy bear, so we're trying to heal this fractured state that Na's mind is living in, that she's kind of choosing to live in. So I feel like that conversation may have given her, just, even if it's not like she's ready to just face the situation right now, I feel like it was starting to give her just some strength and kind of just quiet encouragement, like, hey, it's better to live in this world because you still have all this good stuff around you than to try and stay asleep in a dream, blah blah blah, and all this other kind of stuff, and just trying to work her way back into cementing herself in this reality versus whatever she's been living in for the however many years. We haven't had any mention of the drugs that he was giving her, so I don't, since he hasn't been there for a couple of days, hasn't been giving it to her, I don't know if she's still seeing it. Like, I don't know what's happening there, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge. We had the whole other fight. Tofu left. Song said, "You can come stay with me." That was when the whole bra thing happened. Already talked about that, unnecessary. We had Sen in the hospital a couple times, and he was being stalked. He was being followed by someone who seemed like they were trying to like reach a gun out of their pocket, or like they were trying to. It seemed like someone was following him with the intent of harming him. And then, Sen got the jump on him. He was like, "Who are you? Why are you taking me?" And then he took his mask off and, was looking at him. And I was like, am I supposed to know who this is? Am I supposed to recognize this person? Do we know this person? Like, I didn't get a super great look at his face. He looked handsome, whoever he was. But I'm like, am I supposed to know this person? Do we know this person? What's happening here? Does he know this person? Did he recognize him? I don't know. But then immediately after, he calls up Jan. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to come visit tomorrow." And Jan's like, "Oh, that's our anniversary. He does love me." I'm like, "Baby, no, that's not what this visit's going to be. I don't know what he has to say to you, but that's not what this visit's going to be." Then, let's see. Tofu was having a traumatic night in Nung's room, asking very fair existential questions. Why do I look like you? What is going on? Questions we've all been trying to have answers to. It's like, hey, why did some magic witchcraft turn me into a human that looks like you? The person that Nut had a crush on, but you're not the person that he loved. You're not his ex. Y'all never dated. You might have been his first crush, but then his attention got turned to this person who we believe is the person who gave him Tofu. So, like, why did I come out looking like you? What relevance is this? What's going on here? Still don't have answers to that question, but it's fair. All the pictures and the camera work zooming in from below and have the pictures looking down on you, terribly creepy. I would not want to stay in that room. I'd be like, no, you know what, Song, I'm gonna sleep in your cozy little bed with you, okay? Gen will be fine. He'll understand. But then, Nut came and decided, hey, I'm gonna try and lurk outside of this police officer's home, and it'll be a great idea. I won't get shot or anything. It's fine. So they let him in. Nut came, took Tofu home. They had a nice little conversation. All is well and good. Yes, Nut still has trust issues because, again, I'm not expecting Nut to just dive in and be like, hey, you're my teddy bear. You said you're my teddy bear, so you must be my teddy bear. I haven't seen my teddy bear in months, so you have to be him. Like, I understand the skepticism of some random ass man who you've never met just saying, hey, I was a teddy bear and now I'm a boyfriend. Like, yeah, someone came up to me and said that, I'd be like, okay, bitch, you're crazy, bye. But there are a lot of coincidences, and it's nice to see Nut like replaying some of these things in his head and putting things together. So starting to kind of sort of maybe believe it a little bit, but not fully giving into that French vanilla fantasy just yet, because it's like, girl, it's far-fetched, it's out there. But there are, you know, admit, there are a lot of coincidences. There's a lot of things that just, you know, it would make a lot of sense if he were this teddy bear turned to life. That would answer a lot of these questions. But yeah, they're on good terms right now. Tofu and Nut had the cute little scene there at the end, you know, reenacting the script, and then Tofu's like, for whatever godforsaken reason, like, I'm not feeling it. And I'm like, bitch, don't you ruin this for me. Don't you ruin this for me, sir. Let me have this. So then he's like, okay, let's skip to this one. And Tofu and Nut's like, you know what? I'm not in the mood anymore. Good night. Bye. You had your chance. Bye. What you get for fucking around, Tofu. But yeah, it ended cutely. I was still a little skeptical. Like, okay, we got 30 seconds left. They can still pull the rug out from under me and try and emotionally devastate me. We got 15 seconds. They can still do it. But no, the episode ended in a positive, you know, place. I'm like, okay, this is nice. Yeah, so there were a lot of good things and some other things that I just didn't care for, that I feel like we could have just cut and made the episode a little bit more concise, streamlined, and just, you know, taken out some of these extendedly long quiet moments, which, you know, I like these quiet moments sometimes, but for a series that is this long, or the episodes are this long, maybe we don't need quite as many. So like there were some moments like when Gen and Tofu were outside by the pool, just laying out there before Gen started texting with Song. We were just kind of lingering on them for like a minute. I'm like, okay, we could have made this a 10-second thing and then gotten to whatever we need to do. And there are a couple other like really quiet moments where it's like there's a lot, we're thinking, and it's pensive thought, and I'm like, okay, that's great, that's all well and good. Maybe we cut this montage down by like 40%. Just tighten this up just a little bit. And then again, some of the music changes felt like an abrupt or like a jarring shift. We would go from this very intense to this to this soft, sad acoustic strumming, back to back to and it's like, I'm like, y'all are giving me emotional whiplash with this music. I don't know how to. The music is telling me I should feel one way, but I'm not seeing it in the scene. I'm not seeing what I'm supposed to be feeling right now, and the music could calm down a little bit. But yeah, that was episode 7. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications to be notified when all of my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. Mwah.